Oh, there you are.
Hey.
Okay. Let me write a couple of things down here.
Okay, and I just want to tell you, if this cuts off for some reason, my internet has been kind of screwy lately. Is there an easy way to contact you right back, like through phone?
Yeah, if it cuts off, I'll call you.
Okay, can I give you another number to call me on? Because I had to switch phones real fast with my mom. It's 336 294 8017.
Okay. And if it does cut off, you can always, and it comes back on and you're not in, you can always just click on the link and I'll still be in the meeting. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and continue recording it even if you're not in and we're just on the phone.
Oh, okay, wonderful. I'll just do that then. Okay.
Okay. All right. So let's get started. What I'm going to do is I'll push the record button to start recording, and then we're going to go through your intake form first and see, and kind of, so I can get an idea of what all is going on with you, and we'll kind of do some back and forth, so I can get an idea of what I need to focus on when we're going through the test. And I'll pull up the NutriVal test, and we'll go over it, and I'll explain to you what it is that I see.
Okay.
Okay? All right, so I'm pushing the record button, and then I'm going to do a screen share. Okay, let me share my screen. Let me know when you see the screen.
Okay, I see it.
See it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, so here's your intake form that you sent me. So you're in North Carolina. Someone in a Facebook group told you about me. Okay. So you've done 23andMe and you put it on MTHFR support and NutriHacker, but you didn't put it on LiveWello?
No.
Okay. Because that's really the only one that I use. Okay, so you're 30 years old, 5'8", 245. So you've gained some weight since last year. So tell me about your weight gain.
My weight gain usually happens when I lose sleep for a few days at a time or longer. It increases my appetite and I have to eat more frequently, and it just screws up my blood sugar even worse than it already is. And
okay.
That's really what has put on the weight the last couple of years. I started putting on weight in 2012, and I didn't know why. But I hadn't really changed my diet or anything. I just went through a real stressful time, so I think it screwed up my insulin or something.
Okay.
I've got really bad insulin resistance.
What was so stressful? What was so stressful?
I'd been taking Adderall for about 8 or 9 months, just once a day, and I think it stressed my body out or something. And at the same time, this guy I was talking to, he just stopped talking to me, and it really made me upset. And it's all this, and I stopped talking to my best friend, so it was I had all this stuff come together at one time, and I just got really upset, and I started for 2 or 3 days I would just eat a bunch of junk food. I didn't eat a ton, but I just didn't eat a very good diet, and it's ever since then I've just not been the same. So
okay, so it was probably a combination, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you're a web designer. You wake up at night. You just wake up once at night?
No, I wake up, I don't know how many times, maybe 2 or 3, 4. But I usually, lately here, I've been going to the bathroom 2 times. I usually go once, but lately I've been going 2 times.
To urinate?
Yeah, it could be because I started taking vitamin C a few weeks ago or something. I don't know. But
okay. So you have loose stools quite often? How often?
I mean, maybe every couple days or something. Sometimes it'll be for a few days in a row. Sometimes I won't have one for a week. It just sometimes happens. I don't know, but they're not right. It's all 100% of the time they're not right. They're not what it used to be. So it's looser than
So it's
normal.
not falling. Okay. So when you wake up in the morning, do you feel rested and refreshed, or do you feel like draggy and tired?
I feel draggy and tired. Like I usually get up, open my blinds, and then just go lay back and down in the bed for like 5 or 10 minutes if I have the energy. If I don't have to run downstairs and eat something, but yeah.
Okay. So at any time of the day, does your energy level pick up?
I would say about 6 or 7 or 8 at night, I start feeling a little bit better. Maybe like less foggy headed, maybe just a little bit more clear headed. Then like, I don't know, 10 o'clock at night, I feel okay. Like I feel more clear headed.
What time do you go to bed at night? What time do you get up?
I go to sleep at like 2:30 in the morning, 2:15, 2:30. Then lately, I've been getting up at like 12:45. So used to, before I had this crash, I call it, in March, I was sleeping not solid 9 hours, but I was going to bed at like 3 and getting up at 12. Now I go to sleep a little earlier and I get up a little later. I just feel like my body needs extra, like even more sleep than it had been.
So why are you going to bed so late at night? Are you working at night?
No, I have, for the last probably 4 or 5, 6 years, been going to bed 1 or 2 in the morning, and there have been only a few times I've been going to bed at like 11 or 12, but it's like my body just slips out of that routine. Something will happen, I'll lose sleep or whatever, something happens, and I'll always get back into the same routine. And honestly, since I lost all this sleep in March and April this year, I haven't really been concerned, like I haven't been working on trying to move my sleep cycle back up to where I'm going to bed at like 11 or 12, just because I'm so thankful that I've been sleeping more lately, but I just feel like it's like every time I try to move it back, it's, I don't know, it's hard to, something always happens, it always gets back into this cycle.
Yeah.
It's probably cortisol or something.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got something going on with the adrenals. Your circadian rhythm is messed up.
Yeah.
So, you do have some PMS. So you have painful cramps on the first and the fourth day, and a lot of weakness before and during the period.
Yeah, and this month I didn't have that for some reason. I didn't have a lot of cramps the fourth day. I didn't even have hardly any. Like, I just had some on the first day. And the weakness that I had, it wasn't as bad. So I don't know what was going on with that.
Did you change your diet any?
I've been eating more fruit, I think, and I started taking that vitamin C. So after I started taking the vitamin C, I actually started feeling a little bit better. So I don't know if that had something to do with it or what, but
could be, because vitamin C is an antioxidant and helps decrease inflammation. So that could be part of it.
Yeah, my skin is a lot softer now too.
Yeah, vitamin C is really good for the skin.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been seeing an integrative doctor since last summer. He has you on a multivitamin and liver support, but your symptoms kept getting worse. You're on some bioidentical pregnenolone, progesterone. So why did you back down on your pregnenolone?
When I just wanted to see what it would be like just taking half the amount, because I didn't. Something happened to me, like, over, I'd say, last October through this year of February. Something happened where my anxiety just kept increasing. I'd start getting these heart things, like, I still have it some, but it feels like my heart's skipping a beat a little bit. And I didn't know whether like the accumulation of something had been causing this to get worse. So I just wanted to, after I had this big crash thing in March when I stopped the pregnenolone for a month, I wanted to just see what would happen if I took half the amount when I started back. And it's been going really well for me. Like I'm sleeping pretty much every night now. And I feel like I don't really need the 5 milligrams right now. You know, so.
Okay, so you're not really doing any exercise now. So you have adrenal fatigue, chronic fatigue, and insulin resistance. You have some histamine reactions, digestive, low energy, weakness, need to eat every 3 to 4 hours. Okay.
The histamine has been the biggest annoyance lately.
Tell me about your histamine.
Well, I have to eat a low histamine diet or my throat starts feeling like it's going to close up a little bit. It just gets like a tight throat feeling. Or if I eat something really high histamine, like meat that's been sitting around or just like old meat or whatever, I'll get this awful crawly, prickly sensation all over my body, and then I have like diarrhea 20 minutes later, and I get like a ton of anxiety. So I have to eat like, as low histamine as possible. But it sucks because I have to eat meat with pretty much every meal, which I eat about 3 or 4 times a day. And I hate eating all the meat, but if I don't eat the meat, my blood sugar, like I don't get any energy or something because my blood sugar, my insulin's all screwed up. So.
Okay. So for breakfast, you're eating like eggs, grits, or oatmeal with butter.
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of oatmeal do you have? Is it like steel cut?
Oatmeal is organic oatmeal packs from Whole Foods. It says whole grain on it.
I don't want you to get those like the ones that come in a packet that have a really high glycemic index. I want you to get like the steel cut.
Yeah, that kills my stomach. I can't do any of that. Like I've tried all that. I've tried pretty much every single diet, like every single thing, whole grains. I've tried everything, and it just tears my stomach to shreds. So.
Okay. Now the rice, is it brown rice or white rice?
It's white rice because the brown rice, if I eat it too often, it shreds my stomach, just kills it.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I've been dealing with this for a long time. It's like there's not a diet that really suits me, I guess.
Okay. So, you can take some anytime you're having a histamine reaction, to take some vitamin C, right?
Yeah, I've been doing that. Yeah, that's actually helped me a lot. About a month and a half ago, every time I would eat, my throat felt like it was closing up a little bit. And I started taking the vitamin C, and it kind of went away a little bit. But I still have to...
Have you ever tried taking quercetin?
No, I haven't tried that. I do have some quercetin downstairs, but I have not tried that yet.
Yeah, that's really, really good for kind of stabilizing it. Okay, well, let's go through the NutriVal.
Okay.
And what we see here. All right, did I send you a copy of this?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now on my or I can look at it right here if that's okay.
Okay. Well, I have it on. Hold on. Okay, I am recording. I'm going to go back and see if I was recording it. Sometimes I forget to push the record button. All right, so this first page is basically an overview of, the computer-generated results of what you're deficient in. But it doesn't really tell us why. So let's look at, the sections that do. This is just basically a computer-generated formula if you were going to just take everything as a supplement. We don't need that. And these next few pages you can read on your own. But I want to stop here on this page. This is called the Krebs cycle at a glance.
Mm-hmm.
as you see, the fats, carbohydrates, and proteins, they get broken down to make acetyl-CoA. And then acetyl-CoA actually enters the citric acid cycle. And in this process is where we make energy. Okay, so that basically turns food that we eat into energy. So wherever your markers lie, kind of tells us what is going on in your energy making process. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, I want to go to this page. That's where I'm gonna do my evaluation here.
Okay. I'm looking at it on my other screen too. Just.
Okay, that's fine. So, you know, this in the first column here on the left, you barely have some problems with absorption. One of the markers is elevated, and as far as like your bacteria markers, it looks good. Your bacteria and your yeast markers look pretty normal. The benzoic, yeah, I kind of thought that would be way off.
Yeah.
But your benzoic is really high, and the hippuric is really low, meaning that you're having some problems eliminating some of the toxins in your GI tract. So many times, so basically, benzoic should be quickly converted to hippuric, and it by conjugating with the toxin with glycine and using B5 as the energy source. And I'm going to look down at your glycine. Your glycine is a little bit elevated. Okay, so you know, you may need some B5 here to kind of help support that pathway.
Okay.
Okay. Now, as far as your cellular energy, this next section, this is how well you're making energy. And actually, what I see here is quite normal. So I don't see really an impairment in your ability to make energy. This one marker, the cisaconitec, is low, and I suspect that you have a lot of free radicals. That because the enzyme that converts that is highly susceptible to free radical damage. So you may have some inflammation, free radicals going on somewhere. Okay.
Okay.
But I don't think that you have any problems in actually making energy.
Okay.
This looks okay. Your neurotransmitters look okay. The first one, vanillomandelic, that's epinephrine and norepinephrine. The next one is homovenilic, that's dopamine. And then the next one is 5-OH indolecetic, which is serotonin. And they're all within the normal range. I'm going to look down here real quick at your amino acids. Okay. So far, you know, really, I haven't seen anything too abnormal, except for when we get to the vitamin section. Now, this test doesn't measure vitamin directly. Okay. What it does measure is the metabolites of the enzymes that use vitamins for, as cofactors.
Mm-hmm.
So the first here are your, represent B complex, which is B1, B2, B3, B5, and lipoic acid. So you're just kind of barely borderline here. I would say that you probably need some lipoic acid from this pattern.
Okay.
And that kind of helps with insulin resistance as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Now, the big thing here is this marker here, the FIGLU. Now, when you did your 23andMe, what is your MTHFR status?
It's like yellow, like I forget what it's called, plus minus on all three of the main ones, like the 1298C and the.
Okay. So your compound hetero for the MTHFR $12.98 and the 677.
Yeah, and the third one that I'm going off of another report off of Genetic Genie, but yeah, like the two big ones everybody checks for.
So you have one of each. Okay, so you are extremely folate deficient. Okay, this can cause significant risk for and decreased energy. It can make you feel depressed. It can cause problems with methylation. If you're not methylating, then you're going to have a huge problem with histamine.
Oh. And that has to do with that fig glue thing?
Huh?
That has to do with the fig glue thing you were just talking about?
Yeah, fig glue. Yeah, so fig glue, when you're folate deficient, fig glue goes high. So whenever I see this, I always wonder about, your folate status or your MTHFR. Or, like if you're taking a vitamin, does it have the active form of folate in it? We need to get you on, probably folinic. Or a combination of folinic with 5-methyl.
Yeah, I was on something, like in that vitamin I was taking, it had methylfolate or something in it. The bioactive form.
Right.
But something in it was messing with me. Like, it was just jacking my anxiety up. And it made me have insomnia, like, some nights every week. Like, I just couldn't go to sleep. Or if I knew I had to be somewhere the next day, my mind would just click on. Like, for instance, if I was still taking the vitamin, I probably wouldn't have been able to go to sleep last night because I would know that I had the call with you today, and I'd be like, okay, I gotta get sleep. And, it just something in it revved me up. Like, I don't know.
Okay.
So that's why I'm gonna start taking everything kind of individually now to see what is messing with me.
Yeah, I usually give people stuff individually.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the methylmalonic. Okay, so the glutaric just pretty much means that you're kind of in a little overload, toxic overload in the GI tract. In the liver. But this methylmalonic is B12. So you have a borderline B12 deficiency. So if you were taking, if you're taking methylfolate and you don't have any B12, that could be a problem as well because they kind of work together.
Okay. Somebody just told me I was B12 deficient. I can't remember. I had a hair test done recently, but I don't think it checked that. I can't remember where I heard it.
Okay, and this 3-hydroxypropionic, that comes from like gut bacteria, and it basically is the first step in fatty acid synthesis and stuff. I'm just kind of wondering, okay, and it also kind of helps go in and fill in the citric acid cycle. So I'm kind of thinking that this is kind of tied into your insulin resistance somewhat because that is the first step in fatty acid synthesis, and which we use biotin and all that. It didn't show that you're biotin deficient, but I'm just wondering if maybe some biotin could help with your energy levels, and it would help, lower this propionic acid. Okay, so I'm going to probably put you on a little bit of biotin to kind of help with the fatty acid synthesis and to support the mitochondrial markers here.
Okay, so you're saying because the propionic acid is elevated, it's showing some.
Well, okay, so that is a 3-carbon fatty acid that's typically, we get it from the bacteria in our gut. And it's usually taken in and converted to longer chain fats, and it's also used to kind of help make some of these intermediates in this Krebs cycle here.
Mm-hmm.
So with it being somewhat elevated, biotin is the cofactor. And this next one, the 3-hydroxyisovaleric, is the biotin, is the marker for biotin. So that's normal. But you may have some issues that is blocking the biotin on the receptors, such as having oxalates or something. You've got some gut stuff going on, so it wouldn't hurt to give, to supplement with some biotin to kind of help support those reactions.
Okay.
Okay. Now, your toxin and detox markers are fine. Nothing wrong there. Tyrosine metabolism, everything looks normal, which is good because this would tell me that you had a lot of free radicals going on.
So it looks like I don't have a lot of free radicals?
Well, not according to that. Usually that's high. Okay. So, nutritionally, let's look at the amino acids here. Okay. So, if I was to draw a line down the middle of the page on this first section, you see how most everything is to the right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see the histidine is like really high.
Yeah, okay. The histidine is high because one of the pathways for histamine metabolism, there's two pathways. Number one, histidine has to donate as part of its group to folate, and you're folate deficient. So now histidine has to go through the histamine pathway. Okay, so now histidine either donates a formal group, it's called a formal group, to folate, and then it goes and goes into this whole glutamate pathway to be recycled. Or if there's no folate available, then histidine has to be converted to histamine.
Oh my God.
Okay, and then histamine has to be degraded through methylation, and you have to have folate to methylate. And you have to have B12 to methylate. So now you're having histamine reactions. And I know you're not methylating because if I look down at this sarcosine is high. When glycine goes too high, then it, then what will happen is your body will get one of the methyl groups, turn glycine into sarcosine, and store methyl groups as sarcosine. And you know what you need to metabolize sarcosine is you need folate.
Wow.
Then you need B2. So, we probably need a little bit of B2 as well.
What is B2
Just
again?
in case. B2 is riboflavin.
Riboflavin, okay.
B2 actually is involved in this whole folate pathway as well. Okay. Now, leucine and isoleucine and valine, those are your branched chain amino acids. Usually, I will see those high with insulin resistance.
Leucine and valine? You're looking at that side. Okay.
Leucine and valine, I usually see those high in insulin resistance.
Okay.
Now, it's interesting that your lysine is high. Are you supplementing with lysine at all?
No. I wasn't supplementing with anything when I did this test.
Look how high your lysine is. Look at the reference range.
That's crazy.
The reference range means that 95% of the population is going to be in this range.
That's
insane. So yours is 5 times the normal range.
Why is that?
Now, there's a couple of reasons why this could happen. Number one, you could have like a polymorphism in the enzyme that metabolizes lysine, or it also becomes really, really high with when you have carbohydrate metabolism problems. And I think that's the issue with you. And if I had a stool test, I could confirm it.
I do have a stool test from Genova.
Can you email it?
Yeah. Hello. phone. The internet just cut out. Okay. Here. Come on, hurry up.
Alright, so what this photo is telling me, and is consistent to what I see on the nature valve, you're having problems with metabolizing your carbohydrates. And I can see this if I look right here, the CHBA marker. It's borderline. That's basically telling me that you're borderline ketosis, and you would only be that if you were type 1 diabetes, or if you were starving, or if you're following a ketogenic diet, but you're eating enough carbohydrates, so you're not metabolizing them. Okay, so what's happening is your body's taking fats and converting it into ketones to use for energy.
Oh my God.
Okay, so that's elevated. And then lysine will be elevated when you have a problem in metabolizing those carbohydrates.
Okay, and so, what was the value you were looking at again that was telling you that about the borderline ketosis?
Okay, do you see my screen?
No, I can't. I still can't see anything. But I'm looking at the Nutri-Eval right now. I'm looking at the leucine, the lysine.
Well, I am screen sharing.
I'm talking to you through the phone right now, so.
Oh, okay. So you don't see it. Okay, so if you look on that under cellular energy and mitochondrial metabolism, on 10-7, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. And it's the marker called DHEA.
Oh, you came back on my screen.
Okay, now I hear it.
I'm gonna just mute you on my computer.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I still hear that. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you're here?
Yeah, I was just gonna stay on the phone with you and leave it on mute on my computer, so in case we get cut off again, we can still be on the phone.
You can't see the phone and the computer at the same time because that gives a really bad echo.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna mute it. I just muted you on my computer. But that's okay.
Okay. But you can still see me?
Yeah, I could still see you. I just had you muted.
Okay. Well, let's go back to this because I don't want to waste time on it.
Right. Yeah, I'm looking at the.
Look at this marker here that I just highlighted, DHCA. So that is a marker for ketones. You're kind of borderline here. Okay. So you have that going on. And then the lysine is elevated. Lysine metabolism becomes dysregulated when you have carbohydrate metabolism problems. And also the leucine is elevated and the valine is elevated. So, and going along with that, so your body is trying hard to make glucose. See the glycine and serine in the right-hand column? That will be, glycine and serine becomes elevated when your body's trying to make glucose. So that's what's happening here. That's your big problem, is you're probably going to have carbohydrate cravings, energy crashes, because you're not metabolizing your carbohydrates and absorbing them well.
Oh, is there a way to fix that?
So when I looked at your stool test, you have a very low pH. So when you have carbohydrate maldigestion, your pH of the stool will be low. You see on the metabolic markers on your stool test, the pH
Yeah.
is very low. And then the M-butyrate, the STFA distribution is borderline high. So you basically have your short chain fatty acids are too high. So that means what's happening is the carbohydrates aren't getting metabolized in the small bowel, and they're reaching the large intestine, and the bacteria in the large intestines will metabolize that carbohydrate into these short chain fatty acids, and you're making too much of it.
Oh.
Okay, so that tells me that most likely you have some damage in the small intestine, where, how we have the little villi, and at the end of the villi is where the enzyme sit, okay? And the damage is at the end of the villi, so now you don't have enough of those enzymes and the help metabolize carbohydrates. So now the bacteria in the colon, whenever you eat stuff like rice and drink milk, things that have these double sugars. So carbohydrate metabolism starts in the mouth with the amylase enzyme, and then it breaks it down into sugar. So it breaks it down into either a single sugar or a double sugar. So the single sugars don't need further digestion. When it gets to the small intestines, they're freely absorbed. But the double sugars, when it reaches the intestines, have to be metabolized further by those enzymes that are at the tip of on the brush border there. And and those enzymes are not present. You have a deficiency. So now the enzymes, the carbohydrates are sitting in your small bowel, and the bacteria are eating on it, feeding on it, and it turns it into a lot of inflammatory stuff, mediators, and then those things will go out into the body and cause a whole lot of fatigue and causes leaky gut and causes diarrhea. So usually what we'll see in people that have a deficiency in the enzyme is diarrhea, abdominal pain, and weight gain, because the bacteria converts this carbohydrate into fat, and the fat's reabsorbed into the positive. You don't burn it. So you may actually be an extra 30 to 50 pounds overweight just because of what's going on in your digestive tract.
Yeah. Can I ask you something real fast? I feel like I have a lot of problems. Sure. I feel like I have a lot of problems digesting vegetables sometimes. Like a big salad has hurt my stomach in the last couple of years. Or if I make like a big vegetable soup, like the vegetables in it just feel like it tears my stomach up. But I do eat vegetables every day. I just don't eat a lot of salads anymore or anything like that. Does that have to do with that too, or?
Not really the vegetables, but some vegetables actually have to be avoided. I'm going to look at the rest of your profile here.
Is this fixable?
Yeah, it's not an easy fix, but it's fixable.
Okay.
We'll talk about that in a minute. All right. So that's the main issue from your stool test. That's what's going on. And also with all these so what's going on with your amino acids? Number one, you're not methylating. Number two, your histidine is getting converted to histamine because you're not methylating. It all boils down to folate. And you have insulin resistance. And then the bacteria is causing a dysregulation of tryptophan here. So you've got a lot of stuff going on here. And then, all right. So let's look in these intermediary metabolites. This is basically because of your lysine and your folate. These markers are elevated because of that, basically. Okay.
Mhm.
Citrulline and ornithine is very, very high. But all your amino acids are high, but your urea is okay. This can mean that you have a magnesium deficiency.
Okay.
Now, we already talked about the glycine serine as to why they're high, because your body's trying to make glucose. This ethanolamine, that's most likely magnesium as well.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Mhm.
Now, the sarcosine, I told you.
Sorry.
tells me about your meat intake. So you basically eat a lot of chicken and beef, but this beta alanine is telling me that you have some microbial overgrowth, even though that the balance looked okay. I'm going to look at this stool test again. What did your doctor say about this stool test from last year?
You know, I was just about to tell you, he really didn't say much at all. He was just like, you need to take this probiotic. And all it had in it is just one bifido strain and one lactobacillus strain. And I took it for 8 months and my stomach just kept getting worse and never really got any better. So, I'm not...
He didn't say anything about your carbohydrate metabolism?
No, I don't think I'm going to go back to him, honestly. Yeah, he didn't say anything. And I spent $300 on that test, so I was kind of a little disappointed that I didn't get any more answers. So you're the first person to tell me all this stuff, you know, about that.
All right. So, well, one thing about this stool test is it does have, like, you have some overgrowth. There's some other, where it says additional bacteria, you have some strep that probably shouldn't be there.
Uh-huh.
So we have some, and they're probably, they probably need to be, like, we probably need to do, like, some herbs to kind of help kill off some of the bad ones, and then along with some probiotics.
Okay, is that like SIBO or something?
Huh?
Do you think I've got SIBO, like small intestinal bacteria overgrowth?
I don't think so. I don't know. It would be kind of difficult to tell. I mean, to diagnose with SIBO, you kind of have to do like a hydrogen breath test, which we don't really have here. Okay, so let's look at the fatty acids.
Okay.
Now, the omega-3 and omega-6, these are fatty acids that we have to get from our diet. And we want a balanced intake. And your intake of it is pretty much balanced, okay? But omega-3 and omega-6, we take them in, and then our body takes it, and it puts double bonds in it, and elongates it to make these long-chain fats that are full of energy. Each one of these double bonds between the carbon chains holds a lot of energy. And so if you look at this, you can see, if you look at, like, say, linoleic here, the number underneath it says 18.2. Then it gets converted to a 23. That's how many carbon long it is. And the number is how much, the double bonds of the in it. So we're elongating it. So if you look at this linoleic should get converted to this dihomoganolinolenic, which we call DGLA. So we have borderline high linoleic, but it's not getting converted to DGLA well. And the reason is this enzyme here, right here, this delta 6 desaturate. This enzyme is impaired. Now, the main reason why this enzyme is impaired is because of zinc deficiency. So I'm going to go down and look to see if you're zinc deficient. And you're not. Okay? The zinc looks okay. Another reason why that could be impaired is one of the other B vitamins could cause an impairment, or a lot of inflammation can cause impairment. But even though it doesn't show that you're zinc deficient, I think that we should try to supplement with a little bit of zinc to kind of, help that along.
Okay.
Now, you've got some inflammation going on in the nervous system here with this neuronic kind of high. Now, if we look here, this is because you have insulin resistance. And remember when we talked about that propionic that's made by the bacteria and elevated?
Yeah.
It's going to make this. Okay, so when this goes too high, this is kind of toxic to the mitochondria. And, gets into the brain and causes brain fog and all that. So that's why that's elevated. But 22 carbons, and the lignoceric at 24 carbons, very, very low. So you're not elongating these really long chain fats. And if you don't have these long chain fats, then that's going to cause problems in cognition.
Oh. Like brain
So
fog.
we need to, okay, so if you look on this page here, this elongate, look what it needs. It needs niacin, it needs B6, it needs biotin, it needs B5, and it needs vitamin C for elongation. And it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that your niacin or B6 deficient, but I think that you could use some more biotin, B5, and vitamin C to kind of help support that.
Okay.
Okay? And then, like down here, B2 is also involved.
But I don't need niacin, you don't think?
We also need magnesium, carnitine, and B2.
Okay.
Okay, so there's some things that you're having problems making. So your oxidative stress markers look okay here. I'm not concerned. And your nutrient elements look okay. Now, even though this manganese, that manganese is kind of somewhat elevated, are you supplementing? Or
No, You said it's elevated?
So it all kind of looks okay.
Okay. So you don't think I need niacin?
No, because if you need niacin, citric acid would be high, isocitric would be high, and alpha-ketoglycerate would be high, and malic would be high. You know, I typically see this pattern.
Okay.
You don't see yours are normal.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So, do you understand what's going on?
Yeah, I think so.
Your main problem is what's going on in your gut with carbohydrate maldigestion.
You're saying that's like that's the root of my problems?
That is the root of your digestive problems, but you also have a pretty severe folate deficiency. You need more biotin to kind of help with that. You have some bacteria overgrowth. You also need some lipoic acid to help with carbohydrate metabolism and some B5 to help with energy, and magnesium and zinc.
Okay.
Okay. So, let me show you. Do you still see me on the screen?
No, I can't. It cut off. I don't have any internet.
Okay. I wanted to get this, but now, this is totally curable. But it's not easy. And it's going to take some education on your part, educating yourself. So the cure is to stop the inflammation in the gut. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And the way we do that is to stop eating the types of carbohydrates that cause inflammation. The type of carbohydrates that your body isn't metabolizing. Okay? And so that's basically grains. There's a whole list of them, but there's a book that I want you to get. I'm going to show it here so you can, when you rewatch the video, you can see it. It's called Breaking the Vicious Cycle.
Okay.
And it's written by Elaine Gottschall. And she explains the whole thing about the carbohydrate metabolism in the gut, how it goes wrong and how to fix it. So she has a whole list. She tells you what foods have these double sugars. They're called disaccharides. Once you stop them, within 2 weeks, your digestive complaints should dissipate. The diarrhea will go away, the stomach cramping.
What about like
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I want you to consider going on this diet.
Is it like paleo?
No, it's not paleo.
Because I did paleo and it made my stomach worse. Okay.
There are certain carbohydrates.
Okay. Cause
but you'll have to get the book, and there's also a website. I'll send you the link to the website. It's called SEDrecipe.com, and there's a list of foods that are acceptable and foods that aren't, and I'll give you a handout of a chart that has all of the foods that you cannot eat on the diet.
okay.
So I wouldn't put you on a calorie restricted diet. I only want to have you not eat the foods that are not on this diet.
Okay, because I went grain. I went grain free before, and it actually made my stomach worse. Like, I don't know why.
Okay, but in the meantime, while you're getting mentally prepared to go on that diet, one thing I want you to do is I'm going to put you on some enzymes to help you with carbohydrate metabolism.
What? Okay, because what kind of enzymes are they?
Well, they actually are pretty specific for metabolizing carbohydrates.
Okay.
The ones that you're having problems with.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to have you start taking those. And I want you to start those first. And then I'm going to have you take magnesium and zinc. I'm going to have you take the minerals first. We need to kind of get those pathways going. Because you have to have zinc to make enzymes, you have to have zinc for methylation and all of that. So if you're I'm going to send it to you in a full script. I have a dispensary, and I'll give you my professional discount.
Okay.
And so I'll select products, and I'll put in there the written protocol of what I want you to do and how I want you to take it. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to have you take the enzymes. I'm going to have you take magnesium and zinc. And then I'm going to have you take some B12. I want you to start with some B12 first. And take it for a few days. And then we're going to add some folate. But I'm not going to give you the methylfolate. I'm going to just give you the folinic. Because it's a little better tolerated. So if you've had problems, if people have had problems taking the methylfolate before, then I have them do the folinic, okay? Because it typically doesn't cause all that anxiety and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So then, what I want to do is I want to add an herb called berberine, and I want you to take it after meals, or twice a day.
Mhm.
That's going to help with carbohydrate metabolism. It also stimulates the lactobacillus and the bifido growth. And I'm going to put you on a probiotic that is STD compliant. That's compliant with this diet. A lot of the probiotics have stuff in it that should not be taken when on this diet. So I'm going to put you on a special probiotic. That can be taken, and to take that at bedtime.
Okay.
Now, have you had your vitamin D levels tested?
Vitamin D, yeah, it's low. It's 22.
Okay. Are you taking vitamin D?
No.
So I want you to take vitamin D, 5,000 units.
That made me sick when I did 5,000 IU a day. I felt like I was going to pass out after like 2 days. I felt like my liver was overloaded or something. So I backed it down to like 2,000 IUs. But,
Okay, then if you can tolerate 2,000, then that's good.
Okay.
And so let me ask you, are you married or in a
No.
relationship?
No.
Okay, so you have no risk of pregnancy?
No.
Okay, so I would like for you to take some vitamin A.
Okay.
you have to be careful with vitamin A if and giving it to somebody who, has a risk of becoming pregnant because it can cause some birth defects. But I only want you to take it for 1 month.
Okay.
Okay? Because it helps heal the gut. I want you to take vitamin A 25,000 units daily.
Okay.
Now the vitamin D and the vitamin A is for your histamine intolerance.
Oh, vitamin D is good for that?
And you have quercetin?
Mm-hmm.
I want you to take that quercetin 20 minutes before meals.
Okay.
And then there's another herb I want you to take that helps with the immune response. You can take it along with berberine. It's called immunothrive. And you're not going to be able to get that from the link to where you can get it and purchase it from.
Okay.
And you can take one. You can take one twice a day after meals, and that will help regulate the immune response for the histamine reaction.
Is that with the stuff with the moringa in it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I read about it. Yeah. Well, no, I've read about it. It looks good. I took moringa a long time ago.
Okay. So I'm gonna stop with this because this is enough.
Okay.
And with to kind of get you a little bit stabilized here. And I'd like for you to follow up with me in about a month. And
Okay.
let me know how you're doing. Let me know if you're following this diet. You might want to just ease into it. I want you to buy the book and read it. I don't know, it's less than $20 on Amazon.
Okay.
You can probably get it used. Anyway, so read the book, get mentally prepared for it. There's some Facebook groups you can join on recipes. Half of the book is recipes. So I followed it for 3 months because I have histamine intolerance because I wanted to try to cure my histamine. I don't have carbohydrate intolerance, but I got to try all these diets that I put my clients on.
Mm-hmm.
It was doable. It wasn't easy.
Yeah.
But it's doable.
I have to monitor my energy levels and stuff. That's the main thing, really.
Yeah, well, they allow honey on the diet.
Yeah, that'll spike me too high. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That'll spike me too high and bring...
Actually, honey should be okay with diabetes because if you buy raw local honey, it only has a glycemic index of 35, which is really, really low.
Oh.
So, honey should be okay. And so it allows the simple sugars that are quickly absorbed, and it doesn't require digestion.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Anyway, there's all kind of stuff about how to make ice cream and mousse and sweets and, lollipops. Everything. Even making your own yogurt.
Oh, that's cool.
I actually buy my yogurt that's compliant with the diet from Whole Foods. That Greek Bulgarian yogurt is fermented 24 hours.
Yeah.
It basically doesn't have lactose in it.
Oh, really?
Sugar.
Yeah, I can't eat lactose yogurt. It makes my stomach in a knot. I can't eat dairy yogurt. That sounds cool.
Okay, but the book explains why.
Mm-hmm.
Commercial yogurts aren't typically fermented for 24 hours, but once it's fermented for 24 hours, there's basically all of the lactose has been metabolized by the bacteria.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so...
I'll definitely check it out. I mean, that sounds like a good diet.
It is, and I think, so what you would need to do is to follow, start on the diet, check back with me in 30 days, and I might add some other things for gut healing for you to do. I want to check to see how well you're tolerating things how your histamine intolerance is,
Mhm.
how your weight is, and then we'll go from there. And then, we'll talk about how to reintroduce food back, some of these foods back in. This isn't meant to be followed for a long time. I mean, if you had Crohn's disease or autism, you might have to follow it for a year or 2 years. But, if you don't have Crohn's or something really bad like that, then, maybe 3 to 6 months. You can try adding like one food in at a time, have a reaction, and then you just take it back out and wait until try it again another time.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Well, thank you so much. I've learned quite a lot.
Okay. Okay, well, you'll get an email from me from Fullscript after a while. That's my dispensary. And I'll have all the protocols written in there. And then once you log in on the sidebar, you can download everything that I write in there as a PDF for your file. So you don't have, you don't have to log back into Fullscript every time you want to look at it. You can just download the whole thing.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Nice talking to you.
All right. You too. Thank you.
Okay.
All right,
Bye, Emma.
bye.